Guys, welcome back to Pure Evil MMA. I'm your host, as always, Evil Eddie. We got a special guest joining us once again. We got LIL LEXI C joining us. What's going on, Lexi? How you been?
Hi, so excited to be back. I've missed ya.
I know, it's been so crazy. I mean, I feel like, what was it, about 6 months ago? Maybe 4 months ago?
A very long time ago, yeah. Before all of this craziness hit.
Oh my God, we got so much to talk about.
We lived with them in our $7 million mansion streaming house.
Whoa, you were the streaming mansion?
Yes.
With Scuff Steve Jobs and all them, and Mexican Andy and all them?
All of them, yes. They were the roomies. And I somehow ended up in the master bedroom, and my closet was like humongous. But I don't know if you know how that all went down, but it all ended because the FBI literally handcuffed us and detained us for hours.
Wait, you were a part of that?
I was a part of that.
Were you the reason why Scuff Steve Jobs threw a tantrum and he was like, why does she get to sleep in the master bed? Was that you?
Yeah, I mean, I was the one sleeping in the master bedroom. I didn't know he threw a fit though, so that's news to me. Brett, Scuff Steve Jobs loves me. Like, he's the homie. We're super close friends. So
from what I remember, he slept on the floor in that room, right?
What was that?
He had to sleep on the floor, and you got to sleep in the bed or something. Is that what I
No,
remember?
he had his room. He did have his room. I don't know if there was a time where that was a situation, but for all I know, he always wanted to sleep in the RV anyway, in our military truck that we had.
The bumpy military truck?
I didn't ask for the master bedroom. They literally just gave it to me, but I wasn't complaining.
Oh, I wouldn't be
right when I moved in, it all kind of went down where it ended super quick. So I was about to, I was streaming on an app called Live Me, and I was real big on that app. So I was in the live streaming world, but I wasn't in their group. And then they didn't have any females in the group. They needed, they needed to spice it up. So they invited me to live in the streamer mansion. And then that's when I was like, okay, we're going to transition from Live Me streaming to YouTube streaming. And I was going to, be doing it with them. So a couple of weeks passed and I'm streaming with them and it's super fun. We went on road trips across the US in our military truck. I was a part of that.
The bumpy ass military truck. Yeah.
Yeah. And then those were some of the craziest times. But then all that went down. I was literally, so it was my friend's 21st birthday. So I'm like, okay, we're going to the club. I'm lit, I come home, it's 4 a.m. The next thing I know, it's 6 a.m. There's people banging on our doors with guns and spotlights.
Which isn't new.
FBI.
Because they would do SWATs on everybody all the time. So this was
SWAT is one thing, but an FBI, and that is a whole new level. So I wake up, I'm still drunk from my friend's 21st birthday. And they're like, put your hands up. And they're handcuffing us and making us sit outside on the floor. And I'm drunk and I'm flirting with the hot FBI agents and ICE and SSJ, and everyone's like, Lexi, shut up. And I'm just oh, you can handcuff me.
This is so crazy because I remember all of this happening and I didn't even realize it was you. That is so crazy to me. And luckily, Hampton Brandon wasn't there, because then it could have been even worse,
I know. I feel like I might have been, one of the worst during the whole getting detained situation, because I was still lit from the club. Everyone else was really well behaved, and then there was me. I wasn't giving them trouble. I was just, making it fun.
You're enjoying being frisked. You're
not gonna lie, I'm glad I was still a little drunk, because I would have been scared to death.
You're lucky you didn't wake up.
I thought it was funny.
You're lucky you didn't wake up
sitting there with my handcuffs on.
You're lucky that you didn't have anybody that was just completely out of it. You're lucky that you're able to even talk and do all that after a night like that,
I know. It was crazy. That was one of the craziest experiences of my life.
Were you a part of one of the RV trips, and which one? Because this is all new to me.
So we went on, right when we got the military truck, we were going to pick it up. So we flew to, it was like the most random place ever, like in the middle of nowhere. I forget what even state. And we drove it back, and it kept breaking down. Like, we couldn't drive like an hour without it breaking down at first. So then we had to turn around, drive it all the way back. We had to sleep in this RV, had no heat, nothing. It was so freezing cold. The one night we're like all wrapped up in blankets, like all on top of each other, like body heat. Like, it was so freezing. Finally, we got it back, and like we got a hotel at like this casino and just like chilled. And of course, if you guys know, Ice Poseidon fans are crazy, so they call everywhere we go.
Yeah.
And we have like issues everywhere we go. It's like, it was such a nightmare, but so fun.
What has been the backlash from all that? Because, I mean, obviously that's huge. It had to be so much fun, but his fans could be really intense.
So intense, like so intense. And they told me that. They were like, Lexi, are you sure you want to do this? Because our fan base is cruel. So there was one point after the FBI came and all that, there was like protesters outside our house.
Really?
And I remember one day, like, we had a little gate in the front, but they could still like see. So I like pull my car in, and they're on the other side, and I'm like walking up the steps to get in the house, and they start like screaming my name, screaming horrible, rude things, like, what the hell are you even doing in the mission? And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like our own place, and like we have that going on. But then the comments, of course, like I still, to this day, a lot of my followers came from, you know, the whole Ice Poseidon thing. So a lot of them love to hate, and I'm like, whatever, you know, it's funny, and I know it's the nature of that online community.
Well,
but
let me ask you this then. For the young girls that are trying to, and you're very young, but for like a girl that's trying to get into this, and she might experience like a little bit like, you know, 18-year-old girl, because, you know, that stuff could be really hard. You know, there's a lot of online bullying.
For sure. And still, like, I'll collab with like big people still, and you know, sometimes if you like read the comments, you can start getting like down, like, oh my god, they hate me. But really, they're not, you know, they're only saying that because they can, because they're behind their phones, because, you know,
they want you to
they
react.
have nothing better to do. You can't let it get to you. And sometimes it does. Like, of course, I feel like so many people are like, oh, so many influencers are like, oh, I don't let the negativity get to me, blah, blah, blah. But like, that's a lie, because we all have something that we're insecure about. And like, when someone comments a certain something that gets to us, I'm sure everybody experiences a little bit of insecurity and like uncomfort when it comes to those type of comments, because we all do. But you just have to remember, like, this isn't real life, this is online. Don't let it get to you. And they're giving you comments, they're giving you likes, they're giving you views. So
that's the other thing. Like, I interview all UFC fighters, and I've interviewed champions that talk about this, and they're like, you know, I would make fake accounts to respond because I wouldn't want to respond myself. And it would eat away at these tough guys that are getting kicked and punched in the head, but yet a 13-year-old kid on his couch is bothering you. So
yeah, it makes me mad that these kids think that they can comment that, because for me, like, I can get those comments and it's not going to affect me. But if they think that they can comment on my photo, what's going to stop them from commenting on the girl at school's photo who's actually really insecure and then might actually develop some type of mental illness from this bullying that goes on? So I really do wish it would stop. And I try to not give into and feed into the negativity, because I think that Ice Poseidon's community, because it's so like fed into, I think that's why people continue to do it. But that's a different story.
It's accepted over there. Yeah.
It's accepted. It's different over there. But there is a fine line between when it's, okay, this is funny, and, okay, you're actually going to hurt someone's feelings. Because I would walk in the room with Ice's stream on. I'd walk in his room while he was streaming, and I just get hate through the TTS speaker.
Oh my God. I showed my girlfriend, I showed her Asian Andy when he would sleep, and all the sounds they would do over it. And we were dying. It was the first time she ever seen any of that material. I was showing her Hampton Brandon, highlights from Ice and all that. And she was dying laughing. But there's money to be made there. And when they go out in public and that stuff goes off, have you ever experienced anything like that where the talk goes off in public? And
oh, for sure. I mean, even just on our trips, they would literally be saying horrible words that I will not say on this podcast out loud on repeat for everybody to hear. And it's just like, oh my gosh, this is such an it's embarrassing, but it's hilarious. And like people who don't know like that we're live streamers are like appalled, and that's the best part, is to see their reactions. But
so to switch gears a little bit on the same topic before we get into the whole Corona thing and what's going on there with content creators and how you're reacting and dealing with it all, I got Live Me. That's a new thing that came out or got big in the last year or so, I want to say. What was your decision there? Because for a lot of streamers, including myself, I'm always looking to, like right now we're on Periscope. And Periscope, right, I'm comfortable with. What is it about Live Me that made you join their community over Twitch or any other platform?
Well, I'm not a gamer. I've tried, and I'm really uncoordinated when it comes to like Fortnite and everything. So I was like, I don't know if Twitch is for me, because I'm, that's basically mostly gamers.
Yeah.
So Live Me seems like a fun platform to just hop on, and you can play little games head to head. And I didn't really even know a lot about the live streaming world. Like I said, I used to live in New York. When I moved to LA is when I got into the whole social media thing, because LA just is a lot of influencers. It's filled year round, a lot of it. So that's kind of how I got involved. But Live Me, I don't stream on there any longer. It was fun while it lasted, but it's similar to the apps like Meet Me, or there's a few, like Bigo is another one.
I saw that one recently with the little
they send you
dinosaur
They send
thing.
you gifts, which you can either send back or cash out. And your girl would cash hers out.
Yeah. And right now, all that stuff's blowing up because people want stuff to do. So I feel like those kind of platforms are getting huge right now.
It's funny you bring that up, because I literally just emailed Meet Me and told them like, hey, I'm down to stream on your app, because they always try to get people
new
always
influencers,
recruiting me for different apps. So I'm gonna be streaming on there probably tonight. But
well, perfect.
I think that they're easier to grow on compared to like streaming on YouTube or whatever, because they are, if you put in the hours, you'll grow. So I think it's easier to grow, and you can make some money.
What's your advice though? Because it might take a year, it might take 2 years before you're not, a 1K Andy or something like Ice would say.
Right. It's consistency. I would stream on Live Me for 3 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
And
that's a lot of work.
Don't even expect to make a lot until a few months of doing that.
It's a lot of work, and people for a while it was so weird for me to say I'm a podcaster until I started making money, and the sponsors and all that. It could be embarrassing, but now I feel like it's still like a thin line of people not understanding how much work really goes into all this. It's more than full time. It's all day, and even when you're not streaming, you're responding. You're on social media. You're on this app. It's a lot.
Right, and streaming is extremely hard, because on top of the live content, you have to be producing content to put out even when you're not live, to grow your channel or to grow your page. So it's a challenge.
Let's talk about what everyone wants us and what everyone's really waiting for. The coronavirus right now in your area and the content creators how are you guys responding and reacting to it? And happy 420 to everybody out there. I'm sure there's tons of people streaming right now. But what's it been like for you out there right now?
Honestly, this quarantine has been great for content. I am quarantined with my best friend, Bo. His name is Suburban Prince. He's huge on Instagram and TikTok, and we've just been busting out the content. I grew from like 68K on TikTok, which TikTok is like everything right now. Everyone's loving TikTok. So I was at 68K, and then the quarantine started, and now I'm at 225K.
Wow.
And I have videos hitting 4 million, 1 million, hundreds of thousands of views. And I'm just like, well, I wouldn't have been doing this if it weren't for the coronavirus, which is so unfortunate that's all that's happening. But it has given me a lot of time to just focus on making TikToks.
So for for people
In
that
a
don't know
way,
like
it's
who
been
you
good.
are, like what kind of content are you creating on TikTok for them to go check out?
On TikTok, so I've been doing a lot of collaborations with Suburban Prince, and he's comedy. So I do a little bit of comedy. Like yesterday, I'm in my bathroom doing my makeup, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna dress up as a boy and do a funny TikTok today. So I include some comedy, which I think it's funny. Some people think I'm just idiotic on there, but hey, like I said, we're always gonna have the hate comments.
Well,
So I do a little bit of comedy, and then you can't go wrong with like the TikTok dances.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
a dancer my whole life, so I'm like, ooh, I can finally like put my dance skills back into motion. So I've been doing that. With TikTok, if anyone's out there trying to do TikTok, it's just really being on top of the trends, I think, and following the trends. Right now, I'm putting out all different types of content and seeing what hits. So my videos that have gone big are usually like a dance, but with a funny spin.
Yeah,
Something
like a
to
little
make
loose,
it different,
not
something
too
to make
stiff.
it funny, yeah.
There's this,
or anything with my butt in it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's always gonna get clicks for, you know what I mean? There's this one girl, I don't know if her name's Jade Bug on Instagram. She's like one of the young dancers around your age. I love watching those kind of, or even the Backpack Kid. I love watching those kind of videos.
Oh my gosh,
know?
he's funny. I actually met him at an Instagram party, and I was filming the MTV show, and he was like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" And then we got to talking. But his content is so funny.
Can you do that? Like I always try to do that.
The whole like.
Can you do it?
Like, I don't know.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's harder than it looks. Like y'all might think like, oh, it's just some silly, but like that takes a lot of like coordination.
And he's got these arms that just like move like it's
flail.
So, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Hysterical.
But I think that's really weird that you bring that up, because that was one of my questions for you. You see people like Beyonce right now doing live parties where people can, you know, buy a seat to sit there and tune in for something to do. Now that there's no Instagram parties and stuff, what are you guys doing? Or you know, have you seen anybody doing anything like that, like live streams with other streamers where they're having like live DJs and stuff like that? Have you seen that? Because I've only seen it from like the big stars. But
yeah, I've noticed a lot of like, the celebrities are doing live concerts, whether it be on their
like
Instagram
right now, if you go on
Live
Instagram, the whole thing is live. Everyone is live.
I did a little Instagram live, but that was just when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have a few White Claws, and then I end up like on my Instagram live, like. So but content creators, I think, are getting really creative on this time because they do have so much time on their hands. So I do need to check in on the live streaming community when it comes to Ice and them, because I'm dying to know what they're doing there during this quarantine. But I do think it's giving a lot of people a lot of time to get creative. So
maybe a little bit too much. I mean, I wonder what's going to come out of this, though. You know what I mean? Like, this is like the 70s, you know, Woodstock for streamers, basically. Like, everyone's come into like a community, and it's an experience for everybody that we're all living through right now. I'm getting the chills talking about it. This, Lexi, how unreal is this? This is what I thought 2012 would be. Like, this.
Right, with all that talk, yeah. But this is crazy. I never thought that I would be living through this. Sometimes I like get sad about it, and my mom will be like, "Oh my God, this is so good." I'm lucky. I'm fine during this time. I'm glad to be healthy. But the fact that like the whole world is on lockdown right now, it's
so weird. It's unreal. It's so
just
unreal.
Unbelievable. It's really scary. It's so scary.
Like you said, it's good for content creators like you or me, but for the rest of the world, just seeing everybody's getting really depressed, really angry. There was a fist fight in my road yesterday with kids walking around, and the two parent adults got into a fist fight. Like, people are on edge right now.
No way.
And everyone's drinking.
I got in a little fight at Walmart.
No,
not an actual fight, but it was a bicker, and this man started clapping in my face. I was like,
oh, I hate that. A man? That's a girl thing. Like, you don't know.
Yeah, it was a grown man clapping in my face, all because like they had the buggies lined up to walk down and around, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
I've never been to a quarantine Walmart. Like, directing me that way. I walked in the door, started screaming in my face. I'm like, I'm walking in the store, and I just like went in. But it was so crazy. I think people are losing their minds, and I've gotten texts from like every ex that I haven't talked to for 5 years. Like everyone's hitting me up, and I'm just like, what is going on?
Quarantine and chill, yeah. Netflix, quarantine and chill. That's what everyone's doing right now. Well, perfect. What have you been watching? Like late at night, or what are some of the things you're watching?
So the show Suits. I'm on season 8 of the show Suits.
Are you?
Meghan Markle is in that. You know, she's the princess now. But Suits has been really good. Okay, so I sat down to watch Tiger King.
Blew your mind, right?
Okay, honestly, I couldn't even. I was like, what am I watching? I'm gonna do it. I promise I'm gonna do it because I see so much about it. My sister is calling me dressed up as Carol Baskin, and I'm just like, what is this show?
Hey, all you cool cats
so
and tigers.
See, for me, because I do acting, when I sit down, I really like to watch a scripted series with some great actors and all that. But like, so I sat down and I'm gonna try it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put on Grey's Anatomy or something. Like,
Yeah,
I just like couldn't do it, but I'm gonna watch it because if I see one more person like doing a Carol Baskin dance on TikTok and dressing like everyone is obsessed. Have you watched it? Because I'm so out of it without seeing.
You're like me. Like if everyone's talking about, it's like you don't feel right if you're not. You know what I mean? So I turned it on. My girl was sleeping next to me, and I thought I would put it on and just like kind of doze off. Lexi, I was sitting up just like the whole time, and every episode it builds up and all. I don't even want to ruin it for people who haven't seen it yet, but it was way better than I could have ever expected, and it has so many good
that's
moments.
why I didn't go through with it. I was like, I'm not gonna watch a documentary about, like, no, we're not doing that right now. And then everyone's hyping it up. I'm like, it must be incredible. It must be incredible.
And you know, that's the other thing. I mean, Netflix and all that, they got to be making so much money. There's so much content out there to watch. And I want to steer people towards like what you've been in. You just mentioned you were in that, but you're in a ton of stuff.
I have a movie on Amazon that you guys can watch. It's called 12. Yeah.
I'll put all those links down below because I have Amazon. I'll get all the links. I'll put them down below for people who want to go down and watch some of Lexi's content.
Awesome.
What did you do for that?
I play the girlfriend in the movie. So it's like a family-oriented movie. So if you guys, want to watch it with kids or whatever, it's about baseball. So that's super cute.
Those are some of my favorite movies. Love and Basketball or Hardball.
Right.
Anything with sports.
Right.
Remember the Titans. Anything.
It's a cute family sports movie. So I really enjoyed filming that. So I'm glad that that's available now on Amazon.
I want to see more of your music though, Lexi. You did a cover of not Soulja Boy. Who did you do a cover of?
Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD. Who did you do that cover with? Because it blew me away. How amazing that came out.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I do want to make some more covers, but I've actually been in the studio recording a whole EP.